Right now, wherever you are, there's probably some sound around, a fan spinning overhead, traffic outside your window, maybe music playing quietly in the background. Most people haven't experienced true silence in years, but for almost all of human history, silence was one of the most powerful forces in human life. Imagine standing alone 20,000 years ago. No engine, no electricity, no machine, just the wind moving through grass and the distant sound of animals somewhere beyond the darkness. Today, silence feels uncomfortable. People reach for their phones after only a few seconds of quiet. But why? The answer goes back much further than smartphones. For hundreds of thousands of years, silence wasn't peaceful. Silence was information, and sometimes it was a warning. Imagine you're sitting beside a small fire at night. The forest around you is alive with sound. Then suddenly, everything stops. The insects become silent, the birds stop calling, the forest goes quiet. For ancient humans, it was terrifying, because when nature suddenly becomes silent, something is often wrong. A predator may be nearby. Thousands of generations survive because they reacted instantly. Your brain evolved to pay attention to unusual silence. Scientists discovered something surprising. Silence doesn't turn the brain off, it does the opposite. Without constant noise, attention turns inward. Thoughts become louder, memories become clearer, questions emerge that were hidden beneath the noise. Researchers conducted an unusual experiment. Participants sat alone with nothing to do but think. No phone, no books, no music, just their own minds. Many found the experience unpleasant. Some even preferred mild pain over silence. Yet for most of history, silence was normal. Ancient hunters spent hours moving quietly. Travelers crossed huge landscapes. Night brought long periods of stillness. Human imagination grew. The greatest ideas often arrive when there is no distraction. Today, every spare moment is filled, but our brains were never designed for constant stimulation. Silence was where dreams took shape. A world where the loudest thing you could hear was your own mind. But silence wasn't empty. It was the space where humans met themselves. For thousands of generations, people spent hours simply thinking. There were no notifications demanding attention, no endless feeds, no constant updates, only the sound of nature and their own thoughts. And perhaps that's where creativity truly began. The first stories were probably born in silence. Long before books, humans carried entire worlds inside their minds. The quiet hours gave those worlds room to grow. Today, those quiet hours are becoming rare. The modern world is louder than anything our ancestors could have imagined. Every second competes for your attention. Deep inside your brain, ancient instincts remain. The part of you that once listened carefully to the night is still there, waiting for a moment of stillness, waiting for silence. Because silence is not the absence of something, it's the presence of space. Space to think, space to imagine, space to understand who you are. And maybe that's why silence still matters. Not because it's old, but because it's human. And somewhere beneath all the noise of modern life, your mind is still searching for it. Imagine if, for just one night, every light on Earth suddenly disappeared. For the first time, billions of people would see the sky the way their ancestors did. A sky crowded with stars instead of screens. Our ancestors never had to search for the Milky Way. It was simply part of everyday life. Every child grew up beneath. Every traveler used it as a guide. Every dreamer found inspiration in it. The night wasn't empty. It was alive with meaning. Humans learned to navigate the world by looking up. Today, many people rarely see more than a handful of stars. Light pollution has hidden most of the universe from view, but the stars are still there, waiting above us every night. The same stars your ancestors looked at thousands of years ago. The same stars that inspired stories, myths, and civilization. And perhaps that's why humans have always been drawn to the night sky. Because when we look into the universe, we are also looking into ourselves. The questions that filled ancient camps still exist today. Where did we come from? Why are we here? And what lies beyond the horizon? Maybe the greatest mystery isn't hidden in the stars above us, but the night sky is only half the story. The real mystery was happening inside the human mind. Long before science existed, humans were asking impossible questions. Questions no animal had ever asked before. What happens after death? Why do dreams feel real? Where does the sun go at night? The answers were often wrong, but asking the questions changed everything. Curiosity became humanity's greatest survival tool. It led us across deserts, across oceans, across continents. Eventually, it led us to the moon, and perhaps one day, every civilization began with someone wondering, someone who looked at the world and asked, why? The wheel, agriculture, writing, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, all began with a question, and questions require something rare: time, space, and silence. Without silence, it's difficult to hear your own thoughts. Without thoughts, questions disappear, and without questions, progress slows. That's why moments of quiet still matter, not because they make us less human, but because they reconnect us with what made us human. The ability to reflect, to imagine, to wonder, and to dream. The modern world moves faster than ever before, but your brain is still ancient. It still carries the instincts of your ancestors, the instincts that helped humans survive, the instincts that built civilizations, and the instincts that still shape your life today, even if you never notice them. So tonight, before you reach for your phone, Pause for a moment. Listen to the silence. You might discover that the oldest part of yourself has been waiting there all along. But what if the future makes us even louder? What happens when there is no silence left, no quiet moments, no stillness, no time to think? For the first time in history, humans may face that possibility, and yet, something inside us keeps searching for quiet. People travel to remote mountains, deep forests, and empty deserts just to experience what their ancestors once had every night: a chance to disconnect, a chance to breathe, a chance to simply exist. Perhaps that's why nature feels so powerful, not because it's unfamiliar, but because it's familiar. Your brain evolved there, your senses evolved there, your imagination evolved there for hundreds of thousands of years. Generation after generation, night after night, the stars watched over every one of them. Empires rose, empires fell, languages appeared and disappeared, but the night remained, the stars remained, and the human desire to understand remained. That desire built observatories, libraries, universities, and eventually, spacecraft, all because humans refused to stop asking questions. And every question begins the same way, with a moment of wonder, a moment of curiosity, a moment of silence. So maybe silence isn't something to fear, maybe it's something to protect, because once it's gone, we may lose more than we realize. Not just peace, not just sleep, but a connection to our deepest history, a connection to who we are and who we might become. Because sometimes the most important thing you'll ever hear is the sound of nothing at all. But silence isn't the only thing modern humans have lost. We've also lost darkness. True darkness is becoming rare. For most of history, darkness was unavoidable. Today, it's something people travel to experience. People visit deserts, remote mountains, national parks, just to see what every ancestor once saw every night: a universe hiding in plain sight. Ancient humans didn't know what stars were, but they knew they mattered. Entire myths were built around them, entire religions, entire calendars. The sky became humanity's first clock, its first compass, and perhaps its first science. Every night was a lesson, every star was a clue. Every sunrise was proof that the world still worked, and every sunset brought new mysteries. Humans evolved in a world full of mysteries, and mystery shaped the human mind, because mystery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates exploration, and exploration creates discovery. That's the story of humanity. One question leading to another, one mystery solving the next. And it all started in the dark, around a fire, under the stars, listening to stories, telling stories, and imagining things that didn't yet exist. That's what makes humans different. Not strength, not speed, not size, imagination. The ability to see what isn't there, and then make it real. From fire to spacecraft, from caves to cities, from survival to exploration. All because humans never stopped wondering. And maybe that's the real power of the night, not the darkness, but the questions it inspires.